I'll call us to order at 6:01. First item on the agenda is our approval of minutes from the September meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look over those? I'll accept a motion to approve.
He usually goes, okay,
I was gonna give somebody else a chance. But I'll second.
there you go.
There you go. Whatever.
Okay, we're gonna switch around our agenda a little bit, because I think our two items are gonna be pretty quick, and then we'll let, Garnett and Volkert talk about their street survey. So number 3 on the agenda, I was just gonna do a brief overview of the town hall that's in November. Did everybody have a chance to look at that? Hey, Lisa. Did anybody have any questions on the schedule or anything for the town hall?
What should we be prepared to do individually?
Same thing as last time, just greeting people, having them put name tags on, stuff like that. And we're not doing the Post-its. I mean, we'll have Post-its, but most is gonna be just open mic Q&A.
I think the open mics answer all of that this time.
Yeah.
Whatever disgruntlements they had with the Post-its, it'll be resolved now.
Right, yep,
Something else this time will be, well, I didn't get a chance to speak, I didn't have enough time.
yeah. Okay, any other questions about the town hall? And then the only other thing on the agenda, before the street survey, so Keith Cox, he's our parks director, he got an email about a potential grant, a $2,000 grant, for any cultural events around Martin Luther King Jr. Day in 2026. The caveat to that is that it has to be done, the event has to be done by the end of January. So we would have roughly 2 months to plan an event. Now, I'm assuming they'll do this same thing next year. They'll offer the same grant opportunity if we want to wait a year. But I did ChatGPT some ideas for an event that could cost less than $2,000, like some low-key events. Because I know that was one of our ideas to begin with, was a cultural event. So a few of those were just like a simple heritage festival, a community story night. I really liked the potluck idea of just like a community potluck, and then a community quilt project and a walking trail. Now, those were just a few of the ideas. I knew that if we decided to go for the event, we needed to get on the ball. So I didn't want to make the decision on if we would have an event or not. I wanted to bring that to the group.
Short notice.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that in an event, well, like something like this, we wanted to go off when we really want it to mean something. And we don't want to just throw something out there at people, you know, because when you do that, and if it's not well put together, not well suited, then they're going to see it.
Right.
And they're going to be like, okay, this is just a farce. Why are we even doing this? So I would say table it for this year and wait for the next time to come up. That way we have an ample amount of time to get at it. I would say even in our future going forward to start planning for it. So in the event the money comes back up, then we're already ready to go. We got it. We can kind of know where we want to move and what type of event that we want to have that represents everybody here in Bryan. And then I think that'll be a good thing going forward if we kind of work on that. But I think right now we in late October, almost November.
When's our November meeting? First Monday in November?
First Monday in
because of
November.
the town hall?
Yep.
Then
So, the town hall, and then are we meeting in December? I think we are.
Yes.
yes.
All right, yeah, we can start a year-long chat on December.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on, exactly, but whether we get a grant or not, I'd like to see us do it.
Yeah.
2027, grant or no grant.
Yeah.
We still can do it.
Yes. That was when we first kind of waded into this. We really didn't know what exactly our purpose would be other than engaging the community. And Jasenia, in particular, will be really excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like these ideas, but I think that instead of just throwing them out, like if, let's say we did a potluck, it would be good to have some assignments out there for
Right.
people from various backgrounds and cultures to
Mhm.
bring stuff, so.
Yes,
And yet with this climate, people are avoiding coming out.
That's true.
yeah,
That's true.
very true.
And yet, number 5 might look good. I mean,
Yeah. The walk,
Because it doesn't, you don't necessarily have to make a big event out of it. It can just be a leisurely.
and it's meant to be healing.
And I said that, and then the other reason why I say that is that will give us time and we can talk about it.
Right.
And we can, and then not only talk about it, figure out if it's whatever it is that we want to do. And then going forward, and what's one of the biggest things that hindered us when we did the, the VAM?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just said they didn't have enough time, didn't get enough information. Well, if we table it and then we slowly kind of put information out about it, guess what? Now you got ample amount of time. It's been put out multiple times through multiple sources. Now you got a chance to do it, and then we can figure out what we really want to do.
Yep, love it.
And go from
put
there.
that on the December agenda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody in agreement?
In agreements.
All right.
Even the quilt one is a nice idea.
Mhm.
You're gonna be limited on what's gonna put up.
I have 5 squares.
No one's coming out of the woodwork.
Do y'all want me to bring up the survey or anything?
If you bring up the survey, and then we may want to, eventually move to the edge, to the Bryant City map.
Okay.
And then you had a thing on here that says, community engagement. You can throw me on there for your name that, Daniel did introducing everybody last time.
Okay,
I'll do that for you.
perfect. Thank you. Do y'all want this?
Yeah. We'll get the survey up first, though, right?
Question while y'all getting the survey up. Now, was this a survey that we did on, at Fall Fest?
Yeah.
Okay.
After up there.
I figured it was.
I'm not looking at it.
Wanted to make sure.
There you go.
The other one is right.
Oh, you already had it, okay.
Oh, you sure had it pulled up, okay.
Yeah, I'll introduce, and then I'm gonna kind of let John take it from here. I'm
Perfect.
Jennifer Williams with Garnett Engineering. Some of you I got to meet in the Blessed Bryant booth at Fall Fest. Hunter Hobby with Volker, and John Honeywell with Volker. I'll let you take it.
All right, thank you. So we've been tasked from the city to put together a plan to develop how the city wants to proceed with doing street improvements for widening and maintenance, and how we're gonna prioritize that going forward with any future funding that the city is able to come up with. So what we're going around asking various committees, and y'all are familiar with this, with the survey, because y'all participated in Fall Fest. So what we want to do is come make sure everybody's aware of it, ask you to reach out to everyone you know, and ask them to do this survey, because it's one of the main data points that we're going to be able to draw from to help develop this list. It's not necessarily what do we see as potentially problems or improvements that need to be addressed. What the public perceives is also very, very important, especially when we're going to be looking at funding sources and ways to actually go out and ask the community how they want to fund this. So having their input that we're able to draw from when we're doing these proposals in the future is really important, to have their feedback of what they want to see done, so you can address those wants and wishes versus guessing what their wants and wishes are. Getting as many of these filled out as we can is going to be an important part of the process. We are doing a lot of other data collection via accident reports. We have actual pavement condition data where 3 years ago, we had a company came around and drove all your streets, and they actually look at the condition of pavement. It comes up with a rating for all of your pavement. That's available online too. You can see that. So we're going to take a lot of this information and data and overlap it all together so we can see what's going on with your streets. And then we use that information to develop a plan of what needs to be prioritized first. Be it, do we need to improve this intersection because of congestion? Or is this road need to be widened, and improved because of its existing conditions, potholes? Just, it's too narrow, it's got drainage issues, flooding. Is it in conjunction with the school where you've got congestion that occurs because of the activities going around the school? How do we improve those to make it, function better? Or are there streets that don't exist where there's a corridor that's been identified and we need to build a street to help eliminate, you know, you have to drive. When we met with emergency services, they gave us some examples of where when they have to respond to an emergency situation, they have to drive way around the city to get to a spot that's really not that far away. It's because there's no connection, and those aren't necessarily big connections that have to be made. So we're trying to identify all of that kind of stuff. So any of that information or feedback that you can provide to us, we're happy to sit here tonight and discuss whatever y'all would like to discuss. Or if you want to fill out either the map or the other survey and give it to us that way, we're happy to take it that way. We'll take your information however we can get it. But so that's sort of what we're here to do tonight. So more of an open discussion with y'all of what you see and what you've heard from the community, because obviously y'all get engaged with the community quite a bit just through your committee responsibilities. So
How much from each ward have you gotten?
We haven't been able to, I don't know, Jordan, what your last count was on the
Last
survey.
count, we're at about 200.
Great.
Total, 200?
Yes, so, and we've got two types of survey. The one that's pulled up here is the interactive map, where we can pinpoint a location and you can describe the situation. We also have a generic, I say generic, a street questionnaire, which doesn't require you to pinpoint specific locations. You just answer some questions. In that questionnaire, we also address, okay, if we were to fund these improvements, what are some things you would consider? We have met with several other committees. We're meeting with various stakeholders throughout the city. We're also crossing over into the other adjacent cities. We've met with the city of Alexander. We've met with Benton's Planning Commission, because obviously what happens around us affects us. One of the points about the surveys, as you talk to your constituents, this is not about the residents of Bryant, it's about the users of Bryant Road. So anyone who works, lives, goes to entertainment restaurants in Bryant, we're looking for input from everyone.
it's not restricted to residents
No.
of Bryant as far as who we want filling this out. We want information from everybody.
The survey's open through November 16th.
Both.
Mhm.
Jordan, the one that was on We Are Bryant,
Mhm.
I think maybe all of us shared it on our
Mhm.
personal social media. Does it pull up which one of these?
It pulls up the homepage,
Our homepage.
and then they scroll
Maybe I
down.
can look at this interactive one, because I really like that.
Mhm. And we encourage reposting it every week
Mhm.
to keep it fresh on their mind. Mhm. We were fortunate, we had Custom Advertising donate their advertising time. It's been running on our billboards in the area. We have several other groups we are going to meet with, like we plan to meet with the schools. We plan on meeting with the builders and real estate groups to get their input. We're looking long-term as well. As you become aware or hear discussions of people wanting to develop different areas, or you believe that this is an area that's going to have potential growth, that we would like to consider, because this is going to be a long-term plan, 10 years down the road, how the money for the maintenance will be allocated long-term. Spring Hill Road, we know, is a big issue. We are actually already studying Spring Hill. Traffic counts were completed along intersections of that corridor in the last 2 weeks. Our team is analyzing the data now, and we're going to come up with some preliminary recommendations for improvements, and maybe even staged improvements along the way. This corridor is owned by several entities, Saline County, City of Bryant, City of Benton. We're collaborating with them as well on that and how to push forward. We're hoping to get MetroPlan's interest and funding on that corridor. So that's kind of a part of a study, but also it's already moving forward. Obviously, there's other routes that are similar. Saline County owns part of the route. We own the other part, we the city. There will be collaboration there as we see what the priorities are for the city.
Is there anything that jumps to y'all's mind that
Right.
you hate driving down or have problems with, or?
Hilltops.
Okay.
Well, Hilltop's actually one of those, once again, it's partly county and partly
Yeah,
city,
yeah,
and it all needs to be rebuilt.
right.
And so there's a lot of discussion about how we accomplish that. The county's more than happy to give it over to us, but like, for instance, this little pocket right here, we can't take it because it goes outside our jurisdiction. We have to annex in to get that portion, so there's that hurdle to get through too. And then, obviously, like you said, the one on Spring Hill Road, it's on what they call the Regional Arterial Network, which is one of those things that's set up by MetroPlan that's saying, hey, this is a corridor that's going to be future connections of county. It could even potentially be a state-type roadway, but the state doesn't just jump out there and pick up new highways, right? They don't
Trying to get rid of them.
Right.
They try to get rid of them, just like the county tries to get rid of them to us.
Right.
That's the streets, both, I hear about all the time. And then the, North Lake goes between Williams and,
There at the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a pretty lengthy discussion with the Benton folks. on that, Cause that's one that's got both of them for a length of that. There's a lot going on, a lot of development that's gonna be occurring up that direction, so.
That Spring Hill North Lake intersection, we did pick up traffic counts there and we'll make recommendations to make those movements work smoother and help get traffic moving quicker through the corridor. Obviously, if it's a state highway, a private road, we are likely receiving comments about that in the surveys, but we will be able to meet with those folks and make them aware, but we won't be able to really fund any of those. That's outside this jurisdiction as well. We are meeting with the highway department. We're gonna talk to them about, not just the concerns they hear about, but opportunities for funding through them. We're aware of a lot of them, but it helps being able to talk face to face with them. Well,
Has anybody filled out the survey? Yeah.
Did it, final phase?
And this, of course, also, it's not just one time. 'Cause there's only just one spot that's bad, Bryant, just one spot.
It's never that. So any y'all's talk, any deals about the Parkway? I know one of the big things people were talking to me about during the Fall Fest was the Parkway, like you're going, I think it's going east and west, you're good, but if you're going north and south, trying to turn or whatever.
Whereabouts, at like Show Road?
Yeah, that's part of it, and then right up around yeah.
Oh, yeah, that came up, we talked about that during.
Oh,
the
yeah, the
planning
off-ramp, oh, yeah,
Mhm.
that's,
That was a biggie. That's one of the things they were talking about, asking about. So I said, I can put it in your survey, do the pinpoint, show it so they can see it.
commission.
We'll mention it in a meeting or whatever.
You want to talk about that one in particular, because I'm kind of curious. Are we talking about this intersection in Raymore where it blocks up because people?
That's one.
Yeah.
And then if you go up the Parkway further and go around the roundabout,
This
you
one
got
up here?
Yep, go past the roundabout.
Highway 5.
Five right here.
Right here?
There you go, right there. Yeah, so the turning of that, because most people get frustrated in the afternoon time or in the mid-morning time. Because if I'm going, if I'm going east and west, I can come through because the light allows me to go through. But if one person stops to turn on their signal light,
Yeah, yeah.
one person stops to turn on their signal light, then you're sitting there forever and a day trying to wait it out till they turn.
So,
Because there's nothing up there that allows them to to give break and ease for either one of them to have ease. So those are the two things that people talk
We're
about.
having a side discussion about that because that's on, RDOT's
Correct.
expansion, and they're,
Actually, right there at the very,
It's right here. Right there.
Yeah,
And both ends, and this
Yeah.
end and on that end.
it's the overlap, and that signal was put in as a temporary signal.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we tried to real carefully put the poles where they would be outside of it, so that when they came back, they wouldn't have to rebuild it, because we knew it was on they were scheduling that there for that improvement. Of course, it's gonna happen, and they're gonna have significant lane improvements, which hopefully will aid all those things. So that's great. And that's all in RDOT's right away. But the ones, so hopefully that'll get fixed.
what's the congestion problem at that intersection? Is it left turn movements? Is it?
They turning period.
There
I would
was,
say it's
there was
on
not a turn lane put in or a lane to go around the turn lane. See right there,
Yeah.
that,
Where they're turning this way, trying to get to I-30.
you see the black truck there, right
It's
there.
Lane on
westbound Highway 5 to southbound
Yeah.
Bentonville? Bentonville.
That black truck that's going westbound tries to turn south, then he's gonna block that
He's
black
blocking
white
the way.
truck, 'cause
And
everybody.
you're gonna have,
And
you're gonna
east
have
and
a
north
dedicated
is a
turn lane.
problem
now.
as
It
well.
can be,
But
but
I think,
Yeah, they're doing
RDOT
the 4
will
lanes
fix
and
all
the way
additional turn lanes. They'll have enough stacking there.
Yeah, they'll have the turn lanes and the 2 through lanes on Highway 5,
Mm-hmm.
which will help. And then the signalization will probably have that
if you
dedicated
go
left
down
turn.
to the intersection at,
Raymore?
go south there,
Mhm.
and that first, go past the
Keep
roundabout,
it
right
right there.
there.
Right here?
Right there, coming off
Mhm.
the interstate, a lot of times, there will be a backup going around there,
Mhm.
because, they're either going north, or they're gonna turn onto the interstate, and then somebody's there can be a backup there.
Yeah, as well as the one at Raymore.
Right.
Now,
And the one at Raymore, I don't experience that as much,
No.
but I know it's there.
well, I remember, one time they were having like a 2040 plan, and they were looking at these on-ramps, like this one location and
Yeah.
this one. And they had they were looking, now that's 2040, they were looking at signalization, intersection improvements, like even potentially roundabouts, traffic circles there to manage those areas.
And all of that is that state highway
Right.
jurisdiction. But like I said, that's something we will point out in the study, and that will help encourage them to move forward, we hope. Just to give you an update on Highway 5, because Garnett Engineering and Volkert are deeply involved in that project as well. They are currently working towards moving utilities and buying the highway right-of-way. You're actually probably gonna start seeing a lot more activity here at the beginning of the year with utility relocations. You've seen a few
Yeah, I feel.
of the buildings, like there's actually, the Hallmark store is being torn down
Mhm.
now. The plan is to get to roadway construction in 2027. Likely, they haven't said this is from my experience in my days at the highway department, it's gonna be a 2 to 3 year project before you see completion. So, but that, if you could ask that in conjunction with this project, that's where that falls.
Yeah, and they're splitting it in 2 sections too. This is Project A from here to the Parkway, and then Project B is from here to County Line Road.
Mhm.
And the other thing, which everybody is aware of it, I know 10 people asked me about it, is the intersection where the Chick-fil-A is at. What are they gonna do about that? And I said, I just kinda laughed at what I know, that's a tense thing for people. So definitely, that was the other thing.
Reynolds and Chick-fil-A
Mhm.
intersection?
Yes.
Okay, making sure we're not talking about one
Oh,
of the
no,
offside roads.
Oh, no, that is the one.
It's a fall break, and the grandkids wanted Chick-fil-A today.
Well, being
It
facetious, but there are other chicken places that sell chicken in Bryan. It seems like we get a new chicken restaurant every year, but they all want to just get a Chick-fil-A.
And that was, the car couldn't,
Yeah.
the light turned red, and the guy was in the middle of.
The intersection, yeah.
And there's things too to consider, and we will take comment on this. Is it as simple as spending a little money on enforcement signs on some of these corridors? I know we've talked about, Royal Lane, the Splash Car Wash, and how people boggle up that intersection. Well, is it a, you know, you can't turn left here, or, you know, track route only on something, you know, that becomes enforcement, obviously. But us that like to follow the rules all the time would see that sign and go, oh, I can't do that. So you would naturally eliminate some of that. Others don't follow the rules. So it wouldn't completely eliminate the problem, but that is something, street signing is something that can be addressed that might help some of these areas of concern.
Well, I say, you guys asked, so I'm giving.
No,
yeah.
with
No,
the-
no, no, I got what you, I get what you're coming from. I'm just giving you what was given to me.
Yeah, someone gave it this to me. I do not drive the parkway at night.
So we're putting lights on the parkway,
Yeah.
on the section we can afford,
Okay.
but
yeah,
we're out,
it's
but there's a
light.
big section that we can't afford just yet, that we're applying for grants for.
And that's not the first comment we've had about street lighting, so that's obviously one of the things that we're gonna try and prioritize as far as improvements to the corridors that need that lighting, and how to fund that, the options to try to fund that.
Now, are you guys looking for a certain number of surveys, or is information
More the better.
together, or are you trying to just get what you can get?
Get as many as we can.
Okay.
What we'll do once we get the survey, we will have a report to the city at the end of the year, this year. And then we will move into phase 2 of the project, where we really start hammering down on the priorities. The first report's gonna be, here's basically what we've done, the comments we've gotten, and here's what's come up as high priorities. Then we'll really delve into the analysis of all the information and fine tune, and we'll really, in the next phase, push on the funding mechanisms. And we'll be thinking outside the box, and we'd love to hear your ideas outside the box on what can be done to fund other than your standard, grants or mills or, you know, those kind of things. And we will be researching what have other cities done as well. Okay, we've gotten a number of comments on connectivity on the south end of the parkway. More east-west connection on the parkway. Boone Road. Mhm. Flooding areas that hinder emergency vehicles being able to respond.
Mr. City Council over here, y'all get all of this all the time, don't you? I mean, you're just inundated with that constantly. I mean, he could sit here and tell you 20 different stories about these calls he gets, and they go out there and look at it, and, you know, with the person, you know, there's no reason for anybody to believe that they're being ignored. But then it goes to who is responsible for what, and
And if you have files or databases, or get your own little manila envelope with these complaints, by all means, share them. We'll be glad to incorporate that as a comment into the project. And that's what we've done with our public works folks, is they've shared their comments with us as well. It didn't have to be a formal survey.
Question, will you guys be at the town hall?
And B, we've not been invited, but
Oh.
we can.
Was it November 4th?
November,
I knew it was coming up.
Y'all just got to.
send John an invite to it.
Okay.
The only reason I say that is, and I would be so, not to be obvious, to introduce you, to just let you hear.
Right.
If they show up, then you can hear some of these things, because some of these things probably come up, then you kind of like, okay.
And then you could bring your banner or something vacant right there.
Yeah, like we did at the Les Brent booth, have the flyer there they could fill it out then. We could have tablets available again that they could fill it out if they don't have access to social media.
I know there's a problem at the intersection, is it the junior high? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody complains
Yeah.
about that
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
South end of the parkway.
I know, I think they have a PTO meeting, at the school, where you would actually be talking directly to the parents. That might be a good place to get you some input.
important if you send us information on that, yes, thank you.
We're having meetings this
I was thinking,
parent-teacher meetings.
That's part of the reason for fall break, probably.
Mhm. Also, other question I had was, is it, when, with the surveys, and I kind of already know the answer, but I just want to hear from you guys, are there any questions in specific that you're looking to be answered, or it doesn't matter? Like, there's some questions, like, some guys, like I know when they were filling out the interactive map, but they couldn't had a little trouble, so I was helping them fill out with the interactive map, but just, can you just write down on it, just, even if it's a question on there, just write the information down, or tell me where.
Yeah, put
Are
it
you
in
guys
the
open to
discussion
that?
box. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
So we left it, Hunter left it where there is an open discussion portion. Just do the best they can with the drop-down items, and then put it to words. We'll be able to, we can, if we can't understand what they've written, we can reach out to them as well, because they've all provided contact information.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think all of the roads that have been mentioned tonight,
Oh, there's a place.
that's most of the roads that are in the survey,
Right.
is Spring Hill,
Yes.
Hilltop,
Oh, yeah.
North Lake.
Hill Farm.
And that's what we
Boom.
thought we would get, but we want to make sure we're all on the same page. Are there any intersections that aren't signalized that when you pull up, I can't see very well to safely turn out onto the main lane, or that's a big area. That's one of those that you improve some radii on the intersection, or it may be as simple as cutting down some trees with permission, permit trees.
Vegetation.
Right, to make it more visible and a safer,
I don't wanna cut my trees.
I understand.
I was gonna
Are
say,
they on
our
your property,
driveway,
or are they actually in the right of way?
privacy.
In the cities, so, Jack.
And then there's also some kind of streets too that people get concerned about the safety associated with them. I think you hear a lot about Henry, right? The one in Kings Crossing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another one that,
I've heard a lot on that one, just speeding through there, but,
yeah, because the creation of the parkway created a,
you know, somebody wants a speed bump.
Road
and that
rage.
person doesn't want a speed bump.
yeah,
You know, what are you gonna do?
yeah, I mean, and there's other means to control stuff, and we're looking at each one of those, but that's one of them. And then there's, you know, like Sullivan is another one that we hear, or Rogers, people speak to that, because they've been created kind of like artificial collectors. They're still local roads, but now they're means to get from other points into them and so you'll hear those too, and we want to hear those.
And then anywhere near school, can you make a sidewalk and bike path to the nearest housing development?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a good example too, is that we have this nice trail here, and it goes by a school, and then it just terminates. And then we have, you know, a nice neighborhood immediately adjacent to it, and then we actually have that on part of our trail
No,
project.
that's
Williams is
Elementary.
isolated,
Okay.
there's no way to get out of Williams,
Which one?
out of Williams or Bethel without a car.
Oh, yeah, the Bethel, we'll use that one, look at that one right quick.
You'll cut down car traffic if they could get there on their own.
Yeah, there's not much of a means for sidewalk access from these neighborhoods into it. But there is a trail program, of course, that's all part along North Lake, which is ultimately connect, Spring Hill Elementary. And then there's a lot of kids that live in this neighborhood. Well, once again, funny story is Benton owns this half of the road and Brian owns that half. And so we're actually, you know, did this crosswalk and we're worked with them with putting some speed controls in there with the means to get kids from this neighborhood into the elementary school. But there is a trail program that has it going all the way along here, and you can see where this particular neighborhood had to build a portion of it. There it is right there. And you'll hear a lot of arguments about that because of subdivisions are required to adhere to our master transportation plans when they build their portions, that they have to build that section. They see that as I mean, and it's a tough argument, is they build this section, well, I'm building a section that goes nowhere. You know, but the ultimate plan is that you still you build out a portion that you will get them tied in eventually.
One of the, and I don't know if I commented this or not, just looking at this, made me think through it. Maybe not an intersection thought, but a roadway thought would be just, markings on the roadway where like if it's, raining at night and I wear glasses and I have trouble seeing the road. But if I've got a good reflective, surfaces on the edges, I can see where I'm not supposed to go, which is good. Stay between the shiny lines. But, I know that we mentioned Hilltop. I think that's one of them that gets kind of dark, but just, not only just, may not need to build new roads, maybe just put some reflectors on some areas.
How far off of Highway and Hilltop Road is there?
They're right away.
Yeah.
Jennifer gonna ask you that one, she's in charge of that.
Be in charge of that. It varies in location, but typically what they own is as far back on a side road as what would impact the intersection. So if they have a turn lane, like in the case, this Spring Hill is a perfect example. Without checking, I would say that they usually own 15 to 20 feet off the backside of the last feature of the main lane. So 10 to 15 feet off of the sidewalk along Highway 5. And they typically would own back into this area here along this intersection because that's what they need to get those turn lanes in to make Spring Hill.
So the city can't restripe those? I mean, I'm saying, I'm looking at that, I have an instance like that. I had somebody complain, and they complained again 2 weeks ago, and then he's gonna complain to the highway department. It's a small section of road you want to restripe, and if it's raining, if it's dark, you can't see the stripes on the road. The road's been there since I was a teenager.
Which road?
Laura Drive, where it
Oh.
runs into the access road.
Right. So the other thing is the highway department, we would either bring that up to them as part of, it doesn't even have to be part of the study, but they could go back and redo it, or if possible, we could get a permit with a plan, submit it to the district, and the city pay for that. And that would be part of the improvements for the city. Now, obviously, there's funding issues that tangle into that. Can the city put money on highways, that kind of thing that would have to be researched? But there's permit processes that the state would let us do things in there.
And they've become much more receptive to cities approaching them about doing that.
And they did anything else, and we do the work.
They haven't been that receptive, but as far as allowing cities to come in and do that at their expense, as long as it's done how they want it done. Before, they would basically say, if the city went out and did something like that, you would get a nasty letter. Why are you doing this on our property? And it's, even if you did it exactly to their standards and specifications, now they're recognizing that they can't keep up with all of it, and they're starting to say, hey, if y'all want to help us, come and do it, just make sure you let us know you're doing it, kind of deal. So there is some opportunity there to partner with them to try to get it done.
Yeah, like you're saying here, is real hard to tell. I mean, this is RDOT right away, right here. At some point, this line's misleading because it looks like all this is, since it's attached contiguous, it looks like but it's not. But at what point is this city right away? To where we could perform what we want to do with stop bars and signage and things like that within that right of way.
So they don't do like the little signs, like, just think you're driving down a rural road. And when you're on a rural road, it tells you your corporate limits,
Yeah.
city limits.
Yeah.
At this point, you own this, and this point, the city picks it up from you, or
Maintenance stops here.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's another point, I think we need better signage on the private roads and Bryant. There's several private roads. Even that, I mean, it's on your, the paperwork that you sign closing and that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of paperwork when you sign closing.
Right.
And I think we need to say XYZ lane, private road.
On the name placards themselves?
Yeah,
For the
like,
streets where it says private
it says
again?
Hornet Drive and then say private road. So the residents you just know that it's a private road, which for me and Jack means that the city's not responsible for maintaining that road. That's what that tells us.
And it saves a few phone calls
Yeah, the city's
or
not
passing
gonna,
messages.
or it just lets the homeowners know. I mean, I'm thinking of a specific neighborhood, they don't have an improvement district, they don't have, and their
A good example,
POA
Y'all
don't
make your
cover
own.
that.
we do make the signs, and well, in subdivision, they can order them and get them made, or we've made signs, but what's happened in the past is there's not been clear definition. We can name numerous roads that they look, for all intents and purposes, the sign looks like a city street sign, but it's not, but it's very private.
Yeah.
They're not built to any standards, but for identification in 911, they get a street sign,
Yeah.
but somewhere on it, there needs to be the PVT on it that says it's private.
Right.
You know, one of these I'm sure Jack can speak to very clearly about is, Treetop Cove. That is that's a private street. It has a Bryant street sign on it, but I can't for the life of me remember if it says PVT on it. I don't think so.
I don't think we don't have a.
We have a few,
Oh, we do?
a few, but that's just it. There's enough that think, oh, that's clearly, therefore that one is not, but it's not, like Treetop.
And it just says PVT at the end of.
Yeah, somewhere on the bottom of it, it'll say PVT on it, if it's done right.
We're military, why can't we say private?
Well,
And if you don't have a car in the military, you have a POV.
And I'm just throwing ideas, is it as simple as the city starts conforming to a color of that sign? And that if it's a blue-based background, it's private, if it's a green, it's city. And that's another indicator that they're different, and that's in city, on their
Yeah,
website
that's-
says, if your street sign's blue, please contact your POA first. You know, I mean, something like that.
On the subject of Woodland Park Road.
I'm done here.
In order to avoid the congestion on Reynolds in the mornings and the afternoons, the people have made Woodland Park Road into a baby Reynolds. So we live at the corner of Woodland and you know where we live at.
It's somewhere right there, isn't it? Is that it? Nope, got you wrong.
It's right on, Birdie Lane, whatever. Anyway, so, us coming out to go anywhere, it's just as if we were trying to come out on Reynolds with no light and no one to stop
Boom.
anything. And luckily, we are still able to drive in our yard. So sometimes I just won't even try to come out. I'll drive across the yard and get over here where I can see better and maybe there's a little bit less traffic. And then it's a bus stop there too. But it's okay. We're fine. It's just, I think they do it because they don't want to get on Reynolds.
Well, there's also too, and, you know, like school traffic, and I don't mean to get down bold into these cases, but you got a lot of people turning down Boswell to get to the high school too.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. And Boswell is a 2-lane road with a tree in the middle of it. And that tree's never going anywhere.
No, that tree's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
This is where, in one of those areas, we've talked about further north on Shafe,
Yeah.
making that connection. And so if that connection were made over to, forgive me, I forgot the
It's
name of it.
Cricket.
Cricket.
Mhm.
Will that alleviate some of that Woodland Heights traffic to help?
Go that way on the service road, yeah. Yeah. But now, Boswell is a lot of fun with grandkids at night, where they stick their heads up out of the sunroof.
It is a scenic. I will give the
And
Boswell.
the deer crossing at the same time, and you have to like scoot and scoot.
Let's see if I can pinpoint the tree.
I think lack of shoulders is an issue with
Yes.
Yeah, there's no shoulder.
Yeah.
Or make a
no
line
shoulders.
bigger, just slow down. We all try to go around or whatever.
It may be this one right here is one of them. There's more than one, but there's some that have actually, they've creeped into the road right away and the road comes up as a result of the root system.
I'm seeing orange flags.
Orange what?
On
Orange
On
what?
Boswell or Woodland Heights. A lot of orange flags lately. It's in the fiber identifying.
Is that what it is?
It's 18 feet.
Yeah, wait till the Boswells figure out that the boring companies that are doing fiber are gonna kill their trees.
AT&T tore up our yard, but
It's painting my yard today.
he got a phone number and,
Come fix it.
yeah. I mean, it's amazing how much damage they can do.
And they are.
Makes the road go like this.
Franchise allowed in the right away.
Mm-hmm. We have franchise agreement
Street
with them.
cut permits and all that
Mhm.
stuff they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody asked you about Wise Road off of,
Yes.
Oh, that's horrible.
Well, let's talk about, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, for you all to drag this meeting, because
no, we're fine.
we actually sent out some folks, we had some people that have asked questions about Wise Road, because to be honest with you, Wise Road should be on everybody's master transportation planning, including the counties and the city of Benton's, but it is not. It is one that is, and then we will take this opportunity while we're doing the comprehensive growth plan and we're doing the master transportation plan to kind of revise that and include it. Because essentially, the way it's used is somewhat improper. You have two subdivisions on each side. It's widened as enough as part of that requirement for their subdivisions to improve these sections with sidewalks. But going into it, it is way narrow, and this right-of-way is not correct. It's a good go-by, but it's not exact. So this what might show 50 foot or 60 foot. Right-of-way for Wise is not that wide. So it's actually private property so much. And so it's barely wide enough to get two vehicles to pass, and there's a lot of dump trucks on it. And one of the folks that live in this neighborhood wants us to make a four-way stop there. Well, we follow a guide called the MUTCD, which stands for,
Manual and Uniform Traffic Control Device.
there you go. For some reason, I was wanting to say, yeah, well, thank you. And so it sets the guidelines on what to do, and you don't use stop signs to slow traffic. You
Not
just,
a traffic control.
it is not a traffic control device other than improved intersections. And so, you know, we've cleared right away to improve line of sight. We'll put it up dangerous intersection, and we're talking to the police department because it takes a cooperation with them to change the speed limit to say, and then the enforcement portion of it is we write a few tickets. We've got some people that say, well, it's dangerous, there's wrecks and this and that. Well, we also have traffic reports that says how many accidents actually occurred, and we went back and looked what happened in the last calendar year. No accidents. Now, it's a fresh intersection, so that's kind of new. I mean, so next year there may be a different report, but there's nothing to call for a four-way stop sign at this location. But we can do some things, signage and enforcement on that.
Look at the intersection of Raymar and Show.
Raymar and Show, here we go.
Let's get it.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
This is good.
That is a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's, and so really this would be on your forecast. The school has bought some property on Show
Mm-hmm.
for future expansion, which I've been told is gonna be like 5 years down the road at least.
Well, I'm not saying it, you're recording this message, but I'm not gonna
Well,
say.
here's the problem. They're gonna do some street improvements in front of the school,
Mm-hmm.
a sidewalk to nowhere maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But then Show is not as bad as that corner there at Raymar.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, Raymar is more narrow at that end than it is up there by the overpass.
Mm-hmm.
If you go off the edge here, between here, well, that corner and then up to Timber Creek, that stretch there, if you go over the edge, you might as well call a dump truck to pull it out.
Yeah.
It's just
The-
right.
You go
yeah.
over and down. It's like that stretch up there by Show and
Mhm.
Park. It's so bad.
What I've kind of noticed, I may be wrong,
And
Lisa,
you're gonna
because you've
need
got
it.
a lot more experience, you live by that thing, is it's not clear, I mean, as far as how you manage this intersection too.
Yeah, some people take a little while. I know,
Mhm.
I'm very conservative. But that's not gonna be on the streets and under the school's improvement road. And you're gonna have to have, I mean, really, a way for people, like they're talking about, and they turn Woodland Hills into an alternative route for rentals. You're not gonna have those alternatives. alternative routes. So that should be on your,
Which part of the land is the school?
This
looking
piece
at?
right here,
Okay, that's what I was thinking, okay,
and they're looking at putting an elementary there.
gotcha.
Mhm.
probably all parent pickup.
Yeah, so, you know, to me, I'm looking at just.
What is y'all's, when a school develops, what's your traffic requirements?
So in our minimum street specification, it needs to be greatly updated. We tried to about 3 or 4 years ago and met some pretty strong backlash or whatever, but anything that impacts traffic, you're supposed to call for a traffic study.
Mhm.
It's just that the count of how many vehicle counts that you have to do before it's so high, this may not even trigger it. So it needs to be updated towards a smaller actual number and then that. So that's
Okay.
definitely something to look at, because even when they built the junior high out here, we did this as a matter of coalition with them. Or I'm lost. There's the airport, right?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they built the junior high, and they built it to take 2,400 kids, we said, what are you guys gonna do at this? They came to us first and said, we need improvements, we need a signal here, what can the city do? And the first thing we did was, we said, you need to do a traffic study. First of all, you've got to be able to stack all your vehicles
On
on site.
site, yeah.
On site.
That's where I was getting to. Are they required to stack
They are.
on campus with a new development?
And they provided a traffic study that said they will have all the vehicles on site, open the school, and they close the roadway down. But they came to us as far as what a signal is. And this was one of those, just like you described, is we went to RDOT and they said, can you help us program a signal into this? And they said, no, it's too far off. And they don't really respond. They do more from social pressure from various elected officials, but they don't necessarily respond to a school because they see school as an artificial peak. Namely, it's not throughout the day, it's
Right.
only a short time in the morning, a short time in the afternoon. They don't design highways around that. And so what they did was they said, if you want improvements in here, we'd let you do them. You design them, do a warrant study, and provide the cost to put it in which case we put in another temporary signal, which is a span signal system, with the intention that someday this will be programmed as a much larger intersection, because the consultant's first pass out of the book was this was gonna be like a 7-lane improvement, is that you would have 2 opposing, and then you could have wide, lanes going left and right, and then an extended turn lane going into it. So it blew up real fast, so all we got out of it.
When you get into that, now you've got 7 lanes outside of the school that has peaks morning and afternoon. The rest of the time, people are driving 80 miles an hour on it because there's no traffic.
Yeah, there was no
100 feet of pavement.
Yeah, so it was real hard to argue to pay for that. So the best we got out of it was actually, RDOT helped us. They did some lane improvements right here as part of a resurfacing. So they did work that into it for us, with the left turn lane as part of just of resurfacing.
Okay.
And then the city paid for the lights, and then the school paid for the engineering that went along with it. So it was a coalition between those people to get where we were.
Sorry, I've been doing that all evening.
No problem.
Well, I mean, y'all are not alone in the problems that we talked about. I mean, it happens everywhere, so don't feel frustrated that.
But our understanding, you can usually get, 2 or 3 years of programming out there, you can see, is this one never got, but I think it's getting programmed now for improvements for maybe 2028, 2029, or something like that. We know that certain.
Yeah, I know they just updated the STIT.
Just shoved everything 4 years further down.
Right, and until the federal government opens back up.
Yeah.
18
Lot of
days.
unknowns right now.
20, whatever it is.
But that situation is another one that.
It does,
What we're trying to
and
put
you will see
together.
it pop up because basically, the Reynolds traffic that's trying to get to either the Parkway or get to I-30 that's coming from the south will back up almost all the way to this lit intersection at Sardis Road.
Okay. Yeah, somebody mentioned Sardis Road in one of our meetings.
Mhm.
That intersection
Connectivity
right
to
there,
Sardis.
one time.
Mhm.
Yes. And it's artificially driven. It's a
Mhm.
lot of it's because of school traffic. No, not picking necessarily on the school, but, I mean, yeah, the on-site stacking was not, no. And that's one of the requirements when they build a school, they're supposed to have enough space on-site for stacking.
I mean, my previous world that I worked in, we went through this, where we even had to go back and negotiate staggered start and let out times for different grades at school campuses, just to try to reduce the volume.
Mhm. It's really kind of interesting because like the first 2 weeks of every opening school,
It's always,
it's chaotic. But then something happens after 2 weeks.
Right.
It magically
Parents figure it
disappears.
out, and then they,
Yeah.
I don't have to be there 45 minutes before.
But
Kids
if
get
you
out.
put sidewalks and bike racks near them,
Oh,
you
yeah.
won't have as many cars.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Well, I think the other thing we have to take into account for, and I think, it's prime example in the Benton Bryant area has been for the last 10, 12, 15 years, is we're exponentially growing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that people have to understand. We're growing. Gonna have some growing pains. That means things will have to be updated and improved. We're gonna have to pay for some stuff somewhere at some point in time. You wanna live out here? It's what we gotta do in order to improve it. People come here for the schools. I came here for the schools 15 years ago. Well, I mean, we here. I understand that. So, but at some point, you know, we gotta figure it out. You know, we just gotta figure it out. That is where we at. I think we're on the right path to get to that point, but we just gotta get there.
And the combination of all the studies the city has recently completed is working on, yes, we're taking all of that in as well, but that's what's helping us all stay ahead for the city, or get ahead if we feel like we're
Yeah,
behind.
there's so much overlapping. I mean, the areas where our sanitary sewer is getting taxed, is getting overloaded. Our roadways are also getting overloaded at the same time, you know, where all our growth is all at the same time. So it's, yeah, I mean, they all back up one another.
Do we need a park, like people commuting to Little Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a little place for them to park and share?
Yeah, Sheriff Wright, it was kind of interesting when we went to RDOT about the 2040 plan, and that's been 4 or 5 years ago. And they were talking about how, you know, the commuting traffic. It was interesting because they brought up the possibility of 6 lanes on I-30, with the center lane being an HOV, high occupancy, or even a toll road. And then everybody flipped out because Arkansas does not have toll roads. So, but there was, you know, a lot of means to try to do something like high occupancy vehicles where they could park and ride,
Yeah.
and have an HOV line.
Like traffic cameras for red lights and stop signs, can't have that either.
But if we did have a park and ride, then it could be an option.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing too, Arkansas likes their independence.
Mm-hmm.
And you can build it with the hopes they come. It's encouraging them to come to it, you know. Because we do have the park and ride for the highway department there on the interstate. It gets used. Is it maximized? No. And it being that I was 28 years a commuter between Benton and Little Rock, you know, I got to experience some of the commuting and discuss with coworkers about commuting, and, you know, it's still that they like their independence, so it doesn't get used a whole lot. But it is an option, and it is something that could be considered, or even another survey come out. Hey, if we built you this park and ride at this location, would you use it?
I laugh because I remember one time seeing like a catalog that you could buy, and it was a dummy that you could put in the car with you so that you could drive an HOV lane.
Right.
Is the Greyhound bus thing working okay? Bus stop?
Oh, don't say my dog.
Let's move on.
Y'all aren't alone in that one either. In Little Rock, we fought the same thing. They had to pass a city ordinance or something to like make that go away, or at least change where they were doing it.
Mhm. Yeah, we got one that moved from Benton to here.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they just literally pull up and just dump people out. Yeah, and just with no facilities or anything. There's a bus stop, everybody get off, and they drive away. And people are stranded.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah, they.
All right, anybody got anything else?
Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Very much.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion, do I have a second? Reminder, our next meeting is the first Monday of November, not the third.
Yeah, that's very soon.
Like 2 weeks away.
I know, 'cause that's what we said.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, y'all enjoy, have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you for this football game. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.